Hi, this is Rick Devine, and I am just going to show you guys how I look at where the market is at. There's a lot of places you can go, and Zillow and some other places. I always think those are a little bit skewed, and this is from our MLS that we as real estate agents use. Appraisers use it. We all use this. So I could do a bar and or a line, and I really don't like the way the line is. It's a lot easier for me to look when I see the bar. See how it's so. All right, so we're going to use Mecklenburg County, all prices, single family homes, traditional. That's the way where these aren't foreclosure and short sales aren't there because it's kind of skewed when you put those in. All bedrooms, resale. That way, this takes new construction out. Um, so right now we are looking at the percent to original sales price. As you can see, a couple years ago it was 98.5, 98.8, 97. So, that percent on the average is only down about 1%. And just an example of that, I just listed a home, and on the first day we got three offers. Uh, Two of them were very low because they're thinking, oh, this is, sellers are going to want to get rid of their house. Well, but then there was another one that was extreme, very, very good. And that the one I got, I can't say what it is, but it'll help that percent quite a bit. So let's go and let's look at homes for sale. A couple years ago, last year, and this year. So there are more homes on the market. Now, one thing I will say about that is there's more homes on the market and buyers are pickier now. If you put your home on the market and it needs a bunch of work, you're either going to get low, offers, or it's going to sit and sit and sit. So days on the market, a couple years ago, it was eight. Now it's only 13. Now, granted, that's almost twice as much, but if you would go back here a couple years ago, it was like one or two was very low. Month supply, this is huge. Here in 2023, we're at 1.2. At 2022 and 21, we're like 0.08. Right now, we're at 2.1. But to make it a good balanced buyer and seller market, I believe we need to be about 4% or so, maybe even higher than that. The price per square foot, as you can see how it's risen over the years, um, 222 now to 241, so about $19 a square foot on your home. So if you want to figure out appreciation, that's one way to do it, but that's not really a good. Okay, percent to sale, percent. I just went through that. All right, so that is so then I can sit here and I can also let's look at townhomes. So look at the percent. Now that's went down, still not much, but days on the market, look how much, they've doubled. The ones for sale, look at that. Look how many more are for sale. Now, if there's going to be a place in the market where you might get a good deal, townhomes could be it. Um, Month supply, see how high that is? Look, it's double. Look at that back there, 0.08. That is just crazy. Um, so that's how I look at different, you know, just different stats. Now, there's another thing that we have that's called fast stats. And by the way, if there is anybody that wants any of these report, just call me 704-618-7184 or shoot me an email, rick.thedivineteam@gmail.com. All right, so now I'm going to select Charlotte region, and these reports are these can be really good. So this is kind of a breakdown of what I was showing you. Uh, this goes from September 24 to 25. So this is 24, and you can see the difference in the new listings, the closed, the median sales price, how it's went up a little bit. Month supply has went up. Now this is the whole region though, so these are a little bit. These reports are a little bit different. Because the Charlotte region goes all over the place. So let's go back and let's do a housing supply overview. Again, let's pick Charlotte region, hit view report. Now this one's got a lot to it, and I don't know if you guys are even going to be able to see anything, but the quick facts are um, the price range with the strongest sales are 500,000 and above. Bedroom count 4 or more. Single family 6.8. Then we come here, and these are where it really breaks down. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this. Again, if you want me to send you this report, text me 704-618-7184. But this talks about different, what that just set up there breaks it down a little bit more. And it'll also see how this breaks this down into price range as well. And, it also has all properties, single family, townhome, and condominium. So everything is in here. Days on the market, 2,000 below, it is 47, 200,000 at 348. And you see how this all affects everything. And then this is by bedroom count. And then you can see down here is by price, days on the market. This report is really good. I really like this. It's just sometimes it's hard to read all this stuff on the computer. Now, when it's printed out, it looks a lot better. So, prices by property type, all property, single family, townhome, condominium. You see single family is about 410, townhome 354, 300, and then the list price, the percent by the price range. And it's funny because a lot of these that are 200,000 and below are kind of investor things. And then you'll see how this changes as you go up here. Bedrooms, 2 bedrooms or less, because I think that falls into this. And then how everything else goes. Inventory of homes for sale, 200,000 and below. You can see there's not that many. And now remember, this isn't just Charlotte. This is Charlotte. This goes all the way almost up to the mountains and just as far the other way. So that's where, when you're hitting these, when I'm looking at these things, if I go back and you want to hit, these are just different regions. So I can't do much about that. But I can go back and look at reports from, let's say, September 2021, and you can go back in and you can take a look at some of this stuff where these numbers are completely different. Look at that, 300,000 and above, the pending sales and how many there are, list to close. It's funny because that really it hasn't changed a ton, but and then you can look down here and you can see the different percents. So, but this is going to be the comparison. Like if we look up here, well, this is going to be the comparison of 2020 to 21. So I have all kind of different ways to look at things, look at different facts. I can do it, like I said, I can do it so many ways, and this is just a couple ways that we can do it. Oh, one last thing. Let's look at single family. Let's look at foreclosure. Let's look at all properties. Let's get back to the bar. And let's look at uh, homes for sale. Okay, there's 50 homes for sale, 40 last year. Pending sales, 2001, and your days on the market. But you can also see with this, there's not that many of them. And then if I add in short sales, let's go back and let's do this on the Mecklenburg. Sorry, I forgot to switch this. And I can do this by neighborhood too. Okay, so now when we're doing it this way, where we got um there's your foreclosures. So let's go to homes for sale. This is in the Charlotte market. There's 7. So people thinking that right now I'm going to go buy a home that needs a bunch of work, bank owned. There's only 7. Um, and then, like, it's funny, they'll list the close on those. Where is it? Percent of original sales price. Now that's went down a little bit, but there just is not. But that's so low, it doesn't really matter. Month supply on this, we got almost 2. Um, but look how it was back here. We only had 1. I guess if we go back and look at even homes for sale back then, it was 4 in 2023. So there just isn't that many. That's when people call me and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a home that needs work, a bank owned home." There just is not a ton of them anymore. But anyway, so um, that's about it. So I hope you guys learned something from this. And like I said, drop me a line if you want to know more information or if you want to know your home's value. 704 618 7184.